All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Welcome to our Elite Cambridge Exam Preparation Masterclass, where we are going to completely demystify the preparation of ledger accounts for your Accounting 9706 Paper 2. Look, whether you're just trying to secure a baseline passing grade or you're aggressively chasing that top-tier distinction, understanding exactly how these examiners think is literally your greatest asset. We're not just going to sit here reading textbook definitions today. No, this is about strategic exam architecture. So grab your notes and get ready to shift your mindset from a stressed out student to a strategic examiner.
I want to hook right into the stakes here. Take a look at this number, 15. The preparation of ledger accounts makes up approximately 15% of your total marks in Paper 2. Just let that sink in for a second. 15% is effectively the difference between an entire grade boundary. It's a massive chunk of your assessment. And frankly, it drives me crazy because it's an area where way too many candidates leave easy marks on the table simply because they don't understand the underlying mechanics of how Cambridge actually assesses this topic. But by the end of this explainer, you absolutely will. Okay, here's our quick roadmap for today's session. First up, we're breaking down the core principles and method marks. Then we'll walk through the exact procedural framework you need. And finally, we'll cover those critical examiner warnings. Let's go. Section 1, Core Principles and Method Marks. So, to really crush this section, you can't just memorize a format and hope for the best. You need a connected, conceptual understanding. The whole theoretical architecture of ledger accounts is built on precise definitions and integrating different syllabus areas. The absolute secret weapon here is the method mark strategy. Look, accounting isn't just about getting the final number right. I'll say that again for the people in the back. It is not just about the final number. Examiners award method marks for the systematic process you show them along the way. If you make some silly minor arithmetic error early on, but you apply the correct accounting principles to carry that flawed figure through your ledgers, guess what? You can still capture the vast majority of the marks just for having clear working and a solid analytical process. So, show your work, every single step.
And you know, this perfectly illustrates how you unlock those really high assessment bands. Lower-level responses, they rely heavily on a purely descriptive approach. They just state facts or list entries without any real context. But higher-order assessment demands an evaluative approach. This means you aren't just reciting facts. You're identifying limitations, you're questioning assumptions, evaluating alternatives, and most importantly, justifying your decisions with solid evidence. When you reference cross-topic connections and evaluate the why behind a specific accounting treatment, you're immediately signaling to the examiner, hey, I'm a top-tier candidate.
Moving right along to Section 2, the procedural framework. Here's your step-by-step methodology. Executing flawlessly under strict exam conditions requires a standardized sequence. This ensures you wring out every possible method mark from the stimulus materials they give you. You've got to follow these 6 standardized steps every single time. 1. Deconstruct the question. What exactly is the command word asking you to do? Are you analyzing or are you evaluating? Big difference. 2. Extract the relevant data from the text and tables. 3. Select your analytical framework. 4. Execute your analysis with super clear step-by-step working. 5. Verify your results. Step back and ask, does this actually look reasonable? And 6. Present it appropriately. I'm talking proper headings, correct terminology, clear annotations. Following this specific sequence ensures your logic just flows seamlessly onto the page.
Now, in the high-pressure environment of an exam hall, with the clock ticking, it is so easy to panic and drop one of these critical steps. That's why I highly recommend using a memory hack. Seriously, create a mnemonic or an acronym for these 6 factors. Deconstruct, extract, select, execute, verify, present. Maybe something like DESEVP or, just come up with a catchy, funny phrase that works for your brain. The entire goal here is to have an instant mental trigger so that the second you sit down and open Paper 2, your procedural framework just deploys automatically. No hesitation. Okay, quick pause before we tackle the absolute hardest part of the exam, understanding exactly where students fail. If you're finding this systematic breakdown helpful, make sure you hit subscribe on Ace the Exam's IGCSE O and A levels at the handle @AceTheExam_IGCSE. Hit that notification bell right now too. We're constantly posting weekly Cambridge breakthroughs, deep dive strategies, and exam hacks that you literally will not find in your standard textbooks. Join the community and let's secure those top grades together. All right, back to the masterclass. Section 3, Critical Examiner Warnings. Let's look at how to dodge the biggest traps. We're shifting gears here to share some somewhat harsh truths pulled straight from the Cambridge Principal Examiner reports.
These reports are essentially the examiners venting to us, telling us exactly what frustrates them year after year. So ask yourself this: where do most students actually lose their marks? Spoiler alert, it's usually not because they don't know what a ledger account is. No, it's usually much more subtle than a lack of basic knowledge. Take a quick mental palate cleanser here and really think about your own past paper practice. What's the feedback your teachers consistently give you? Let's see if it matches the top 3 pitfalls that constantly derail candidates on exam day. All right, here they are, the top 3 mistakes cited straight from the examiner reports. Number 1, vague answers. When a prompt asks students to evaluate, they panic and just give these generic textbook definitions that totally lack specific details. Number 2, forgetting format and presentation. Remember step 6 of our framework? Yeah, strict conventions really matter. If you drop your headings or use the wrong terminology, you are just bleeding marks for no reason. And number 3, which is honestly the biggest one, answers that are not specific to the given context of the question. I really want to amplify that last point because, guys, this is an official examiner alert. The absolute classic mistake, the one that totally destroys top-tier grades, is providing generic, non-specific responses. You must always link every single point to the given scenario. If the question is about, say, a specific manufacturing business facing a specific cash flow crisis, well, your ledger analysis and your written evaluations have to speak directly to that business. Context is king in Cambridge exams, period. So to synthesize this entire explainer and really lock it in, I want you to remember these 3 actionable core pillars. First, the 3-step question scan. Aggressively deconstruct the command words in the data before you even think about writing anything down. Second, the paragraph balance formula. For every single descriptive fact you state, you've got to balance it out with an evaluative, context-specific justification. And third, the last 5 minutes review checklist. Verify your headings, double-check your arithmetic flow, and ensure your final recommendation actually makes logical sense. Deconstruct, solve, and evaluate.
Crushing your Cambridge exams requires consistent, applied strategy, not just last-minute cramming. I really hope this explainer has rewired how you look at the preparation of ledger accounts. Don't forget to subscribe to @acetheexam_IGCSE and hit that notification bell for more insights. But before you go, I want to leave you with one final thought. When you're in that exam, are you just balancing random numbers on a page? Are you actually telling the financial story of the business? Master the story, and I promise you the distinction will follow. Let me know your target grade in the comments, stay strategic, and I'll see you in the next one.